When it comes to hormones, there's a great deal of talk these days. And many people are being misled, unfortunately. It's really quite tragic. So we'll talk about that. Synthetic hormones and bioidentical hormones are two entirely different things. It's like comparing a rhinoceros to an ant. I mean, it really totally two totally different things. So we're going to look at a few synthetic hormones quickly, very, very quickly, and then we'll look at some bioidentical hormones, also called natural hormones, very, very, very quickly. Okay? So let's take, for example, let's say that this is a receptor site for a hormone here. Receptor site, where I put the orange X for a cell somewhere in the body, let's say a muscle cell or a uterus cell or an ovarian cell. Anyway, that's the. And now we're going to draw a picture of, we'll just pretend, this isn't actually what this particular hormone looks like, but we'll pretend that this is estrogen. And you can see how this is the receptor. This is the bioidentical hormone. You can see how this real hormone will fit right inside of this real receptor. You can see that. Now, why don't we take a synthetic hormone, also called a medication, and we're going to see how that would fit inside the receptor. Okay, I'm just going to have a seat here. We'll draw this in purple, because I have two purple pens, so I might as well use one of the two purple pens. Try and be conservative. Okay. Okay. Now it just turns out that this will fit. This is a synthetic hormone. And this hormone will fit into the receptor. Okay. So it fits. But doesn't it fit a little differently than the actual bioidentical hormone would? It does, doesn't it? And so, because it doesn't fit quite right, those are what's known as side effects, you see? And because it's a different substance, and no study has ever been done to know exactly what effect this synthetic hormone will have on the body, because it doesn't fit properly, it creates side effects, right? And because it's a different thing than this bioidentical hormone, let's just say it's Premarin or something like that. This particular hormone to any mammal other than a horse, you're going to have side effects here due to the incorrect matching at the receptor site, and then you'll have side effects here because it's a totally different hormone. Actually, these aren't side effects, these are the effects of the medication. These are not side effects. Again, these are the effects of the medication. So as we can see, there's some problems, challenges I should say, when it comes to using synthetic hormones because we don't really know what they do. The effects have never been studied in the laboratory in order well enough for us to determine what will really happen to a human. We know that hormone levels tend to increase or decrease, and that's why they're given, to help balance out hormones such as estrogen and progesterone and whatnot. But the actual result is unclear. After all, they're synthetic chemicals, meaning they're made in a laboratory. They're not naturally found, and they're not normally found in nature. They're not something that a human body would know what to do with. So that could be a problem. If you want to really mess up a person's I know this sounds facetious, but if you really want to cause trouble with the intricate, carefully balanced hormonal system, which has many different glands and organs in the body communicating with each other in very subtle and specific ways, I think this would be the way to do it. This would really upset the balance. And we see that with people who take birth controls and then they're no longer able to get pregnant sometimes. Women, a lot of women who are having troubles with being fertile and bearing a healthy child, they've used birth control pills for a number of years sometimes. Other times they've done other things to upset their health. That's one of the most commonly found symptoms for thyroid dysfunction, is a woman who can't have healthy estrogen levels at the beginning of her cycle and then healthy progesterone levels at the end of the cycle. Usually it's the progesterone that won't come up, but it could be either. It's most common that progesterone won't come up. And progesterone, that's the female hormone necessary to maintain pregnancy, right? Estrogen is what's necessary to get impregnated and have a healthy embryo develop into the growing baby inside the uterus. So these are side effects because the steroid hormone system, steroid meaning the sex hormone system, is a very delicately balanced system. And the steroid hormones are extremely important. They're necessary for stress handling, proper blood pressure, reproduction. That's where the sex hormones come from. Almost all of these hormones are made from cholesterol, and so cholesterol is very important. They're involved in energy production. They're involved in stable blood sugar, like I was telling you a little while ago. They're involved in body repair and regeneration, as well as the breaking down of certain parts of the body if necessary under an emergency or for energy. They're necessary for overall strength, stamina, and vitality. I mean, the sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, DHEA, aldosterone, cortisol, epinephrine, these are all very, very, very important hormones. And one that's similar, that's not often mentioned, is vitamin D. It's also a sterol. So thanks for following that as part of the Triad of Health 2-hour introduction. We're going to move on now to some other things, and we'll discuss the Triad of Health, the most important aspect, really, of the Triad of Health 2-hour introduction.